Welcome back, guys, to Coded and Loaded. It is episode 18. Goodness gracious, 18 episodes. It is Tuesday. It's May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, and it's 2 p.m. If you're looking for the smartest people you know, you might be in the right spot. I'm joined by the wonderful Rebecca Gonzalez. Rebecca, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing today, Price?
Hanging in there, nothing to complain about. I'm very excited because today's episode is a topic I'm not super familiar with, so I'm excited to learn a lot about it. I don't really have any good riffs. I was trying to think of something topical that we could talk about. We talked about Cinco de Mayo. Should we do that? Should we do LeBron going through the playoffs? We've got some planning on the royal wedding coming up, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. So there's been some developments on that, but we really couldn't land on anything. So I think the best use of our time, that the 18,000 viewers that have joined. I don't want to waste y'all's time. Rebecca, why don't you just tell us a little bit about the topic today, what we're going to be talking about and who we're joined by?
Yes. So this is an individual that is very near and dear to your heart for personal reasons, but we are joined with Harold Grant, our Director of Logix Development. And so, Harold, that's your professional title, but what our audience of 18,000 viewers does not know that you're
22,000. They're joined
up to 22,000, that unofficially you are Price's brother-in-law.
That is correct.
That is true. I've never seen this man.
No,
I'm just kidding. Yes.
I have no idea who he is. No.
I've had a bunch of tries to explain this to people, but I found the most succinct way to say it is our wives are sisters. That's the fastest way to do it. Harold's married to the oldest sister, and I've got the youngest.
I've been here over 6 years. I just found this out less than 24 hours ago. Y'all are hiding this.
Well, I also have a brother that works here as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right. We know him,
I
yes.
thought about tacking my name up underneath the McLeod name.
Yes.
Just in case, because I almost got my nephew back here.
This is a family business over here.
It's how it goes. That's how we all get here.
Yes.
But Harold does, ironically, the reason a lot of people don't know we work together has a lot to do, or that we're family, I guess, has a lot to do with the fact that I have very limited understanding of what Harold does because our paths rarely cross in the day-to-day work. And I think it's starting to more as new technology emerges. But that's why I'm so excited to talk to Harold. I've talked to Harold about many things over many different things. We've had shared many opinions and things over Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas, but now we get to talk old school work. So take us into it, Rebecca. Tell me, let's learn.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what you said, though, too, Logix Solutions, I'm right there with you because I don't know that I have a ton of visibility into it, but I do really feel like it's McLeod's unkept secret sauce that so many of our customers more and more are utilizing and more are seeing the benefits. So, Harold, Director of Logix Development, you've been here 27 years, but for anyone that has heard the name Logix and maybe doesn't understand it, what are the Logix Solutions and what problems are they designed to fix?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for letting me be here today.
Yeah.
Let's start with what Logix is. Because that term, we always have terms that we throw around, and that's the most common. But it's based on document power, which is our document management system. The vernacular, everybody calls it imaging. But it's specific. It was originally to store the documents. Then we had workflows and rendition billing that we created from that. And then we discovered that we needed a way for someone with my skill set, like a BA level, to be able to change it without having to incorporate a line program. So we created the Logix Designer. And that was about 15, 18 years ago that we created that. And it's a flowchart-based IDE in an integrated development environment that lets someone be able to make decisions and actions based on those decisions. And it's really easy to use. It does take some technical ability, but what it allows us to do is easily change them, and it allows us to create solutions. So instead of just doing a bunch of solutions for everybody, we identify common needs that our customers have, our customer base. And so when we develop one of these, we call it a Logix solution. Okay. And if anybody wants to license the designer, they can modify those on their own. And they can also create their own. And that we have a big group of folks, customers. I think between 100 and 200 of our customers have the designer. They make their own. They consult with us. They share, ideas with other customers. So it's kind of like a little family microcosm within itself.
I like that. That's awesome. So it's like essentially, and this is my understanding, recapping. But you go to the we Logix, we have our grocery store full of solutions that we've identified. Bang, all these people need these things, and we've gone ahead and prepackaged them. But we also give you that designer to say, hey, you might want to use a different field in your solution. You might want to auto-populate this instead of that, and you don't need to come to us to do that, or hire a programmer to do that at your company. We built this tool for you to.
That's
the
right.
designer tool.
You can go in the frozen section and get, an Asian meal, or you can go get bok choy and rice and make your own concoction.
Exactly. Nifty.
Well, you talked about that these Logix solutions were grown out of you guys recognizing different needs that our carriers, our customers had. What are some of the most common needs, or I guess inefficiencies, where we've looked to develop these Logix solutions, and where you've been able to see us leverage them in the best way?
A lot of times the customers will come up with a solution, and it comes from a pain point.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I see is our customers are stuck touching things way too much, touching it multiple times when maybe they could touch it once, or touching it once when they shouldn't need to touch it at all. And that's all throughout the business. I think one of our biggest sellers, obvious need, is in the billing and settlement realm. So when that's passed from operations onto billing and settlement, they're doing all kinds of things that kind of slow it up, make it inefficient. We've introduced products, and they have grown over the years. And so they're available to eliminate some of that touching that they do, and the multiple touching, and give them automation. That's the biggest thing we want to do. Automate where you can automate.
Yeah, we see a lot of that on the IQ side, where someone wants to build a report, and we say, oh, if only we had this one data element, or if you would start putting this on the order, or start putting this on the move, or this on the stop, that would be huge, and that would give us, that's the missing linchpin, right, to make this whole thing work. And a lot of the times it's like, I'd love to start doing that, but it's going to take forever to get all my dispatchers, make that a required field. It's going to increase the time it takes to make an order, a move, a stop, whatever it may be. And the times I have worked with you, it's when we're like, hey, this is what we need. How can we automate that? And we can that's where those solutions come in. So I love that it's able to adapt in that way, because it's so useful, because it can be so niche from customer to customer.
And it can also be something that happens in the background that users don't even experience. It can be, it's not a reporting tool, but it can data mine. It can correct data. It can, it can just inform you. Yeah. It can work with APIs. It can do all kinds of things. It's got a whole tool set in which is enriched, with every release we have.
Super cool.
We were talking about how it can help with a timeline, specifically talking about like billing and settlement workflow. And just to your point, with it running in the background, correcting data, the accuracy that also comes from that automation, because we're lessening the amount of clicks, the amount of touches. That's a huge point too. Yeah. That I imagine is a huge efficiency for.
And of course, the word that's going around all the time, or the initials, AI. We're incorporating that with our doc typing, and also with other parts of our product. We're going to be introducing that as well, because it's learning what you're doing time after time again. So there's things in the future that we will be releasing that will also engage with that.
That right there would make a great episode. We're putting you down to come back and talk to us about that when you guys are ready.
Can you make
that
it on Friday so I can wear a Hawaiian?
Oh, yes, 100%. Yes. No, keep us posted on that. You and Ansley did a whole AI episode, and that was incredibly beneficial.
We talked a lot about Logix in that, and I think that was something I was like, hey, I want to call that out for a second, because I think one thing Harold said is, hey, you released Logix Designer 15 years ago. So like a lot of what we're seeing in the market right now with a lot of these AI tools, is a lot of the technology that was bundled into Logix 15 years ago. what is truly artificial intelligence and what is actually workflow management and automation and using existing tools. That line's been blurred a lot, the same way it was blurred when blockchain was the buzzword and AI is the buzzword now, but the underlying constant has been around. Now AI is a massive advance. I'm not downplaying that at all. And obviously they're gonna be utilizing it in later releases and new functionality, but I think it's important to reiterate some of these tools. We say, hey, I want to get this new AI solution. Like, that's what we've been doing for a long time with some of these different pieces. And like Harold said, our customers are utilizing these. So the feedback loop that we get from that and being able to really hammer those things home is awesome. But
Well, sometimes it's a buzzword, and I think no matter how much technologies we have, the most important thing is to communicate, find out what is your need. And a lot of times what they ask for when they say AI, it's really not artificial intelligence. We have automation that probably all already do it.
exactly.
But I mean, it's coming in storms. It's already here, but it will be more and more integrated with our products.
And what it can do
Ultimately.
to those products. Like that's where the definitely not to understate the AI side of this, because if you look at other tools that have existed where you now can insert that reasoning ability, right? Like Logix or some of these other tools or any of these automation tools, you look for an item, you recognize that item, you populate something else based off that. It can grow and grow and grow. But what if now when you're looking for that item, you can distinguish between the 10 different things that mix it up and make it hard to look for that item? And that's where the AI comes in and can really start to, what does that data qualification enable me to do in Logix and IQ and EDI and whatever else, right? I think there's definitely there, but I always say, yeah, my brother-in-law's been doing AI for 20 years. So I wouldn't get to read you into it. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
Well, I've definitely been passing off artificial intelligence as long as I've been employed. I'm faking it.
No, that's very cool. Consider yourself voluntold to come back
Yes,
when
yes.
we are ready to talk about the AI piece coupled with our Logix Solutions, because that's
Gladly.
awesome. So going back to just the Logix Solutions that we've got from a development standpoint, how do you guys balance that flexibility of customizations that maybe our carriers are wanting to do, as well as keeping these solutions scalable, supportable, all of those things?
Well, if we're talking about a new solution or a custom solution, it starts with consultation. Got to figure out what the problem is. What are the pain points? As you talk through them and you start understanding what the customer is needing, then you start thinking of caveats. Okay. Well, different loads, different drivers, different carriers, do those kind of things make a change? We try not to hard code anything. We take advantage of master files, core files, control files, and we use the Field Marshal and McLeod Taylor to create fields in those different screens so that they can have control. So if they want this to happen, but only for this customer, I know next week you're going to have another customer that this has to happen for. Let's put a switch on that master file so that they can change it. We're doing this in the Logix Designer, which when we upgrade, it doesn't change. So it has some isolation from upgrading. The reason it's not totally isolated is because we're always adding new features into Power Broker and LoadMaster new fields. You might want to take advantage of that. Or if there are new features that might kind of obsolete what you did before, you might can enhance it. So it's an easy lift, easy change in the system. Usually, it takes very little time to go in there and move blocks around or change decisions or change SQL statements. But it's usually a question of asking and putting the customer up to, thinking beyond the immediate problem and how could this grow?
That's interesting. How it feels like a lot of times in IQ, we're doing some of the same stuff where we're consulting and saying, what about loads where you split it 6 times and there's 9 agents on it? You have to think of every caveat. I feel like we have to introduce that a lot. Is that like the role of your analyst, the role you play a lot? Like,
Yes.
Because sometimes I feel like the negative Nancy. I'm like, hey, but what if this happens? And they're like, that never happens except for sometimes.
And you can do all that to mitigate as you as you can.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something that comes up, but if you can at least do the due diligence of asking and get the customer to think about it, have some ownership on it, they will, definitely appreciate that, and the product will be richer than originally thought.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Cool.
For customers that are curious to learn more about our Logix solutions, what path do they need to take?
Well, we have, I would say the easiest is probably through that personal relationship with their salesperson.
Yeah.
That would probably get started. We've recently hired a new product success manager for our Logix Solutions and Document Power. He's empowering them with new tools as well. They're always free to contact me. I can take an email and get it to the right person, or maybe answer a question. But we do have documentation available. We have recently, in this year, our group, our development group for imaging and Logix, has taken on the endeavor of going to each group within our company and teaching them what Logix Solutions are. So basically having the conversation we're having right now with different groups, our support group, our training group, all the groups that we have, and even, HR and accounting, because things come up occasionally and they can, also help in that endeavor. And you never know when we get ideas from them. So we're trying to educate the company in what we do so that, somebody I've known for, 12 years doesn't know what I So that was my big motivation, was you, Price. So
Thank you. That helps. Good. Good. We have other stuff to talk about usually. Thankfully, we don't spend so much time talking about work at family gatherings. But that does bring me to Harold. Thank you so much for coming and doing our show. I
Thank
love.
you.
I learned so much.
Me
This has
too.
been
I know so
great.
much more about Logix. I think the grocery store example made it click a lot.
I like
Yeah,
it.
the
I'm going to
first-
use it.
Yeah, I love that. Let's see, announcements. Oh, one thing I do want to say, because Harold, this kind of is a follow up on the last question. Where do you reach out to? If you hear about something on Coded and Loaded and you want to know more about it, we try to tell you who to reach out to, yada, yada, yada. Starting tomorrow, there's a new email inbox. It's going live tomorrow, but it's codedandloaded@mcleodsoftware.com. Shoot your questions to that. Anything you're trying to find out, we monitor that, and we will get in touch with you and make sure you get in touch with the right people. Outside of that, have we heard anything about Ansley? Do you know anything
What
about
if
her?
she's watching right now?
I wonder if she
I bet
is.
she is.
Ansley, if you're watching right now, we're thinking about you.
We missed you.
We missed you. I wonder if you're coming back.
Same.
Other announcement, I'm also going to be leaving at some point because McLeod is nice enough to offer paternity leave as well. So my wife is expecting twin boys. That'll be 2 more boys to my already 2 boys. So pray for me. And that'll be in July. So at some point, there may be another Price sitting here. Not as charming or funny, but hopefully measurable. A measurable distance away. So that they
Be Harold.
could be Harold.
I'm
He
taking
is-
uncle leave.
No,
but
you're
guys,
gonna need all that you can
Yes.
get.
Yeah,
it's an
Harold's
all
gonna be in
it's an
my
all
house.
hands on deck.
I'm-
Yes.
I'm terrified. But thank you so much for watching another episode of Coded and Loaded. This has been another 18. We're coming up on 20. We've got a great one planned for next time. We're gonna keep it behind the curtain. We're not.
Okay,
Let's not
yes.
spoil.
That works.
Sign up for
Okay.
UC. If you need anything else, shoot us an email. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a good rest of your day.
Thanks.
3, 2, 1, let's go.